I believe I can fly. I believe it. As I started talking about at the beginning, the service, that moment, that good day, when we see the truth, when we see the burning bush, when we see it clearly, we're freed from whatever prison we had created in our minds in the past, freed from whatever jail of ideas and roles and responsibilities and beliefs that we had taken on. That the 100% of our pain, 100%, this is from Byron Katie's work and from Margaret Creek, 100% of the pain in your life comes from the place that you haven't forgiven, where you won't accept what is. Right? And here, welcome. Hey, there's a great seat for you right here. Come on over. Sorry, that's mine. But I can sit there too, so it really doesn't matter. So I know it's a full house today, which is great. Seats in the front row. So if you want the back row, you've got to get here early. Right? For all of us who don't want to be fully present in the back row, you get here at 10, not 10:30. Where was I? It seems to be the theme of the day.
Something about pain.
Pain. Oh, 100%. Thank you. Thank you, 100% of the pain that we feel is from when we haven't forgiven or we're holding on to the belief that it shouldn't be this way. Well, guess what? It is. So you're fighting reality. You're fighting God, and that's where all the friction in our life comes from. When we let go of that belief that it shouldn't be different, we're freed from the prison of our own making. And today we do two different rituals. And the first one is the white stone. So I invite you to feel it, to texturize it. This white stone was quarried in Israel. It comes from Israel. We have it shipped here. And it has a really interesting texture. I love these. I've done this ritual in lots of different places. And I like the rectangular stones like this because if I get more than one word, we're going to write on these in a minute. If I get more than one word that comes to my mind, I've got many sides and many facets of this stone. So the ritual comes from, and the legend behind it is that in ancient Palestine, 2,000 years ago, when one was released from jail, you were given a white stone to indicate your freedom, and it represents a clean slate, a fresh start, a new beginning. And so as we start this new year, we have this opportunity to write on this clean slate what it is we want to manifest, right? What it is that we want this year to be about for us. And not only us, right? Not only our thinking, but to tap into that larger energy and presence that we call God. You might call it Spirit, Divine Presence, Source, Jesus, Yahweh, the One, whatever name you want to give to it, to invite it into this reflection so that before we write, before we name it and claim it, that we're attuned and listening. A quote from Isaiah, "Let he who has ears to hear, listen." Yes. Let he, she, who has ears, listen. These are so much fun. It's a great way to start the year. On your seat or in the seat in front of you, you all should see one of these folders. I have one of these folders. And this section of our Sunday service is what I call letters from God. Now, in past years, we've called them letters to God. But we made that small shift this year because what we're going to do is name and claim our good by writing a letter from the consciousness of the divine, from the consciousness of our personal and the world's wholeness. Right? So think about this. This letter is going to be written. I'm going to lead us through a little bit of meditation again before we go into writing this letter. But this letter is going to be written to you at the end of 2018 from God. Right? So imagine that you've been through the whole year of 2018. You have lived in our year of manifestation. You have been living on your white stone, living in those words and taking the steps necessary to fulfill your life in these words. And that this letter is coming to you from God. It shows up in your mailbox. There are stranger places that God could show up, and has in my life. But God shows up in your mailbox in December of 2018. And he, she, it, all of the above, whatever your God is congratulating you for the year and all of your accomplishments in the year. What would that be like? What would it be? Now, to get a couple little things out of the way before we go into this meditation, and I will repeat the instructions, but let's do this first thing. There is an envelope in your folder. Address this envelope to yourself. You don't have one? Can we have one more of these, Kate? In fact, there's one right here. I got one. Okay. Perfect. So if everybody has one. There should be an envelope, a blank envelope. Take a moment right now and address this envelope to yourself. Right? What's going to happen is at the end of this ritual, this ceremony, we're going to fold these letters up and put them in this envelope. You can seal them and you'll put them in the offering basket when they come around. I will take them, they'll sit in my office and I'll pray over them. And then we pass them to the prayer chaplains. Once a month, a different prayer chaplain takes them and holds them and prays over them for the entire month. And they pass it to the next prayer chaplain. So these letters are prayed over for the entire year, and then they're mailed back to you. So make sure that you have your address or some place that's really good for you to have it sent to written on that. When that's done, we will put that aside. And just to reiterate the instructions, we're going to be writing this letter from the consciousness of God, whatever that is for you. So we're going to take another time to meditate and to get into that consciousness. And it's a congratulations letter to you at the end of 2018 from your divine source, extolling everything that you've accomplished and that you've been. Not only just done, but been in this year. Is everybody clear on that little nuance, the difference we're doing next from? So the first thing that should be on top of the letter is, Dear Carol. Dear Bob. Dear Ken. So that's the first. It's to you. That letter's to you. So I'm going to invite Misa up to start us. And one of my favorite meditation songs we do here is Daniel Nahmod's When I Pray. Oh, there's one of them there that I'm going to say first. I haven't forgot this. So I've been talking about this name and claim it. In First Steps and in Absolute Abundance, the course that I teach here, there's steps to manifesting your good. And since this is a year of manifestation, I want to take a moment to explain the difference between abundance and manifestation from a unity perspective. Abundance in unity is the infinite presence always around. In other words, God. There is no lack in God. There's no lack in the universe. God is constantly showering good upon us. The only thing that blocks it is our own thinking and our own belief patterns. Right? Our own internal blocks to receiving God's good. So abundance is the natural state of the universe. It's the natural state of your life. Our own thinking is the only thing that can keep us from experiencing it. Manifestation on the other hand, is taking the abundance and, as Robert put it so beautifully earlier, is making it 3D. Is to take something that already exists in the world and making it in your life, creating it in your experience. So you may have the idea of being in relationship, having the perfect partner, and that perfect partner already exists. You're not creating them out of whole cloth, right? It's not magic. But bringing them into your life is the process of manifestation. Being open to having them and seeing that person show up. Or a thing. Or an identity. Manifesting your good. So there's lots of different ways to manifest. But the manifestation is the act of co-creating with God so that the good that already exists appears in your life. In the fairy tale Cinderella, the fairy godmother shines the light through her magic wand of appreciation on a pumpkin and it turns into a carriage. On rags and it turns into a beautiful gown. Well, your good already exists in the abundance of the world. What you're doing is shining appreciation on that abundance and watching it manifest in your life. So, name and claim your good is the first step. Take concrete steps. You know, the old joke. The guy gets to heaven and talks to God and says, hey, I just kept praying and praying and doing all these right things to win the lottery and I never won the lottery. And God looks at him and said, you could have bought a ticket. Right? We must take steps in the physical world if we want things to manifest in the physical world. Period. We can live a spiritual life, but we're also here in human form. We're fully spiritual and fully human at the same time. And then share your journey. I know this is difficult for some people to do when we don't think our lives are what they should be yet, that we hold back from sharing. But sharing with other people invites them to co-conspire and to co-create with you to make your good. You never know where your good's going to be coming from. So just share your journey along the way is to invite other people to help you manifest it. And the fourth is to be open. We have an idea of what it's supposed to look like. What if that exactly what it looks like right now, your good existing, radical idea. Be open to how it will show up. Be open to know that that thing you're longing for exists right here and right now and you just can't see it. And watch as things transform. Ego can tell us it's not supposed to look this way. When we let go of that ego thought, we can see the good that has been there all along. So the 4 steps are name and claim that we're going to do in this letter. Right? Then it's up to you, and we'll continue to talk about it all year, to take the other 4 steps. But today, we're going to name it and claim it.